Welcome to Joe Haffner's Daily Digital Almanac for Monday, January 1st, 2018, New Year's Day. New Year's Day is a public holiday in the United States, along with many other countries. Traditionally, it's a time for personal reflection by making resolutions for the new year. Also, it's a time for some people to recover from a wild night of partying. January 1st has been observed as the beginning of the year in most English-speaking countries since the British Calendar Act of 1751. Prior to said act, New Year's Day began on March 25th, around the time of the vernal equinox. Incidentally, the holiday has been called Every Man's Birthday in countries where people celebrate their birthday on the first day of the year rather than on their actual birth date. Some of the events going on today include the All-State Sugar Bowl at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana. An estimated 73,000 people are expected to attend the 84th annual event. The All-State Sugar Bowl is part of the College Football Playoff Series. And speaking of football, also going on today is the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California. The annual football game has been a New Year's ritual since 1902. The score of that first game wasn't too pleasant, though, for the hometown team, as Michigan defeated Stanford 49-0. Called the Rose Bowl since 1923, it is preceded every year by the Tournament of Roses Parade. Meanwhile, in the city of brotherly love, the Mummers Parade takes place this afternoon. Officials in Philadelphia are expecting a crowd of around 20,000 people to be in the city today, dressed in costume. The Mummers Parade is believed to be the oldest folk festival in the United States. It's Bonza Bottler Day, a day set aside to celebrate something for no particular reason. Bonza Bottler Day is celebrated when the number of the day is the same day as the number of the month. It's really just an excuse to have a party at least once a month. Now, don't worry if you're not in a partying mood today. Your next chance to celebrate Bonza Bottler Day is February 2nd, Groundhog's Day. Some of our Canadian neighbors are taking a plunge for a good cause today, as the 98th annual Vancouver Polar Bear Swim Club is the oldest and one of the largest cold-weather swimming events in the world. The event started when 10 hardy swimmers took the first plunge into English Bay on this date in 1920. By 2014, the event saw a record crowd of nearly 2,600 official swimmers participate in the plunge. If you do decide to take the plunge, don't forget your costume and a really big towel. Today marks the start of Diet Resolution Week. From now through Saturday, Diet Resolution Week is a reminder for you to watch your weight by focusing on the type, not the amount of food you put on your plate. Health experts also suggest that you consume minimally processed, less refined carbohydrate foods, eat more whole grains, legumes, and like your mom told you when you were a kid, your fruits and vegetables too. Ellis Island opened for operations on this date in 1892. For the next 62 years, more than 20 million people were processed for entry into the United States at Ellis. The island was also used as a point of deportation. As a matter of fact, in 1932, nearly 20,000 people were deported from Ellis Island. During World War II, Ellis Island became a Coast Guard station by late 1941. It was officially closed for operations in November of 1954 and declared a national park 2 years later. After decades of disuse, it was restored to its former glory. By 1990, Ellis Island was reopened as a museum. The Emancipation Proclamation took effect on the state in 1863. President Abraham Lincoln issued the measure by executive order in September of 1862, stating that, quote, all persons held as slaves within any state or designated part of the state, the people whereof shall be in rebellion against the United States, shall then be free, unquote. Slaves in the 4 states that had not seceded from the Union were not freed until the passage of the 13th Amendment in 1865. And finally, taking a look at a few celebrity birthdays for today. They include basketball player Glenn Big Baby Davis, who turns 32. Olympic ice dancer Merle Davis turns 31. Actor Michael Imperley turns 52. Architect Helmut Jahn turns 78. And U.S. Senator Robert Menendez of New Jersey turns 64. And that, my friends, concludes this edition of Joe Haffner's Daily Digital Almanac for Monday, January 1st, 2018.